Hello, dear friends, and welcome to the international discussion on the Creative Society channel.
في ديسمبر الرابع من سنة 2021 الملايين من الناس من كل أنحاء العالم قد شهدوا حدثا غير مسبوق على الصعيد الدولي، مؤتمر دولي، الأزمة الحقيقية، الوقت الحقيقة. هذا المؤتمر قد وحد ملايين الناس من 180 بلدا حول العالم، والعالم الموحد في عالمنا اليوم يشهد عدة مواضيع عن عالمنا المعاصر، العديد من الحقائق العلمية والمعطيات قد تم تقديمها بطريقة شاملة وواضحة التي تعكس آراء العديد من الناس. وأهم شيء والشيء المهم حول هذا الحدث أنه قد تم تحضيره واستضافته من قبل أناس عاديين، من قبل أناس من دون مال، قد قاموا بعملهم من أجل تغيير العالم لشكل أفضل. مرحبا أصدقائي الأعزاء، اليوم العديد من الناس يرون ما يحدث وما حدث في المناخ كل يوم. نحن العديد من الناس يعانون، وحسنا علينا أن نتصرف، ولكن يجب القيام به. ما الذي يجب علينا القيام به؟ ومن علينا أن نتحدث إليه؟ لا أحد يعلم ما يمكن القيام به. نحن خائفون، ولكن اليوم علينا أن نحل هذه المشاكل. ماذا يجب علينا القيام به وكيف يجب علينا أن نتخطى هذه العقبات؟ على الأرجح القليل من الناس يعلمون، ولكن حقا اليوم لدينا حرب غير معلنة، وهي الحرب الأخيرة. لماذا هي الحرب الأخيرة؟ لأنه إما أن تدمر الإنسانية من قبل المناخ، أو هكذا ظروف، هكذا مجتمع، حتى مفهوم الحرب لن تكون موجودة في مجتمعنا. والمناخ هو حقا عدونا الوحيد، لأنه ضد الإنسانية. لذلك علينا أن نتوحد، وعلينا أن نتخطى هذه مشاكل المناخ. لذلك ومن أجل أن نفهم هذا، نحن سنستضيف اليوم أشخاصا هم حقا يفكرون ويأخذون خطوات جدية كيف نتخطى هذه المشاكل، ونحن نقوم بكل ما يمكن القيام به حتى نكون موحدين في ديسمبر 7 أين سنوحد الناس. شكرا لكم على انضمامكم لهذا الحدث. يمكنني أن أضمن لكم بأنه سيكون هناك العديد من المعلومات التي لم تكونوا حتى قادرين على التخيل أنها موجودة. لذلك أرجوكم زوروا creativesociety.com، وهو الموقع الذي يمكنكم أن تزوروه حتى تعلموا المزيد عن مشروعنا. واليوم نود أن نستضيف ضيوفنا الأعزاء 3 نساء جميلات من مختلف أنحاء العالم، الذين بكل سرور قرروا أن ينضموا إلى حوارنا ويشاركون آراءهم وأفكارهم وخبراتهم على موضوع الذي تحدثنا عنه كثيرا خلال المؤتمر. وضيفتنا الأولى هي أستا من أيرلندا، وهي متحصلة على العديد من الجوائز فيما يخص مجال الموسى، كما أنها قد تحصلت على العديد من الجوائز الأخرى. شكرا لك أستا، شكرا جزيلا لكم على دعوتي. أيضا لدينا إليزا سالانج من أنغولا وجنوب أفريقيا، وهي شخصية تلفزيونية كما أنها ترجمانة. شكرا لك على انضمامك إلينا، شكرا جزيلا لكم على دعوتي. ولدينا أيضا ناتاليا إزالكوفاك من الفيدرالية الروسية، وهي مغنية. مرحبا بك ناتاليا، شكرا جزيلا على انضمامك إلينا اليوم. مرحبا، أنا حقا مسرورة لكوني معكم اليوم مجددا ضيوفنا الكرام. والسؤال الأول هو أنني أود أن أسأل ناتاليا. من المؤكد أنك شاركت المؤتمر الدولي حول الرابع من ديسمبر الأزمة العالمية وقت الحقيقة، وقد كان حقا مؤتمرا غاية في الأهمية. ما الذي ألهمك أو ما الذي فهمت من ذلك المؤتمر؟ شكرا جزيلا لك. أجل بالتأكيد سوف أشارك بالتأكيد انطباعاتي، وأنا أود أن أبدأ بأن المؤتمر قد استمر لمدة 12 ساعة، وأود أن أقول بأن هذه الساعات 12 كانت حقا ساعات مليئة بالمعلومات، قد كان العديد من الوجهات النظر المهمة التي تحدثت عن المناخ وعن النظام البيئي. نحن لدينا فكرة عن المشاكل السياسية اليوم، ولكن أتعلمون ما الذي أدهشني هو أنه كل تلك الحقيقة والحقائق التي نظمت بطريقة رائعة والتي نفهم فيها الصورة الشاملة لما يحدث حقا في عالمنا اليوم. ويمكنكم أن تروا أيضا الصورة الكاملة لما يحدث اليوم. لقد صدمت حقا أيضا بالعديد من الأسئلة والمعلومات المختلفة التي سندرسها وسنتحدث عنها أكثر. ولكن أيضا موضوع المناخ كما تعلمون لقد قدم بطريقة مليئة بالتفاصيل. لقد كنت أعلم عن هذا الموضوع من قبل، ولكنني حقا ذهلت بكمية المعلومات التي شاهدتها. وقد أيضا اهتممت بموضوع المناخ والذي يحدث. وكما تعلمون لقد حقا أذهلت بأن العديد من المعلومات والحقائق خلال المؤتمر التي كنت حقا مجددا مذهلة بها. وما يحدث اليوم يعطي حسنا ليس معلومات صائبة حول هذا الموضوع، ولكن على أي حال يمكنكم أن تجمعوا المعطيات وتقارنوها، ولنقل يمكنكم أن تفهموها بطريقة شاملة. وما اكتشفناه هو أنه بفضل المؤتمر أزمة عالمية وقت الحقيقة هذه حقا معلومات مهمة، لأنه حقا إذا لم تكونوا قادرين على إدراك أنه يوجد عدو مشترك، يمكننا أن ندرك أن هناك المعلومات وهناك مشكلات المرتبطة. يمكنكم أن تفهموا الطريقة التي تتواجدون بها وكيف يمكننا أن نتعايش مع هذه المشاكل. لذلك أظن أنه يجب أن نتوحد من قبل كل الإنسانية، لأننا بشر. فحتى العلماء هم لا يدرسون هذه المعلومات التي هي حيوية. أجل لدينا العديد من المعطيات اللي نتحدث عنها اليوم ولنناقشها من كل الجوانب حتى على مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي، ولكن لماذا لا نتحدث عن المشاكل الحيوية؟ لذلك أود فقط أن أقول بأنني كنت مندهش من قبل المعلومات التي سمعتها خلال المؤتمر. على سبيل المثال
Так вот, если мы как люди не видим врага, то с кем нам бороться? Мы все разобщены. Одни поддерживают одну тему, другие другую, одни одних политиков, другие других. В общем, все наши усилия остаются, ну, скажем так,
المناخ المشكلة إذا لم نكن موحدين، إذا كنا منقسمين، فكيف يمكننا أن نحل هذه المشاكل؟ كل مشاكلنا يجب أن تكون مرتبطة بالمناخ. أنا حقا تعلمون لقد انتابتني العديد من الانطباعات من ذلك المؤتمر. إذا أردت أن أكون صديقة معكم لذلك ضيوفنا الكرام أود أن أمرر الكلمة لك. شكرا جزيلا لك ناتاليا، شكرا جزيلا على مشاركتك. حقا لقد كنت مندهشة من قبل رقم الحقائق والمعطيات التي قدمت لنا في المؤتمر، والعديد من العلماء الذين كانوا حقا لم يكونوا خائفين من إيصال صوتهم وقد كانوا مستعدين ليشاركون أبحاثهم لم يكونوا أشخاصا عاديين وغير مكترثين، بل كانوا أشخاصا حقا مهتمين بموضوع المناخ، والآن هم يشاركون بطريقة مفتوحة هذه المعلومات. وقد كنت حقا مسرورة وقد كنت حقا ممتنة لهم. أجل المؤتمر كان حقا مذهلا. والآن أود أن أسأل أستا أن تشاركنا رأيها عن هذا الحدث. ما المعلومات التي كانت جديدة بالنسبة إليك أو ما
I'm hearing a lot about this enemy, like enemy this global warming is enemy. But when I look
عندما نظرت إلى كل تلك الحقائق خلال المؤتمر لقد كانت كثيرة جدا من إظهاره. عدونا الأكبر هو نفسنا، هو الشخص في المرآة. أنه من يقوم بهذا؟ من يحفر الآبار؟ من يحفر وراء الألماس؟ من يحفر وراء الفحم وغيره من الموارد؟ الناس، البشر. أنا أعني نحن أنفسنا. لقد فقدنا الاحترام فقط من أجل تلك المسات باهظة الثمن أو تلك الأشياء باهظة الثمن مثل النفط. لذلك أود أن أقول شكرا جزيلا لكم حقا لإظهار هذه المشكلة، ما الذي يحدث. ولكن حقا إظهاره، يعني أنا لدي خاتم ألماسي، أنا لا أرتديه بعد الآن لأنه حقا يظهر لي درجة من معاناة الناس الذين كانوا يعانون من أجل أن أتحصل أنا على هذا الخاتم الألماس حقا. ولكن في النهاية تبين لي أنه لا يعني شيئا. هذا أظهر لي أكثر وأكثر كم نحن في الواقع نقوم، ما الذي نقوم به للطبيعة وللمناخ. حسنا، توقفوا عن جذبي، توقفوا عن البحث، توقفوا عن بحث ما هذه المصادر التي تلوث المحيط. هذا حقا لا شيء. هذه الطاقات التي تضر البيئة والمناخ. أنا أود الألماس، أنا أود النفط، أنا أود هذه السيارة الفخمة، أنا أود المزيد من المحركات، كل هذا. ثم أقول العدونا الأكبر هو نحن. شكرا جزيلا لك على إجابتك الصادقة ودعوتك الصادقة. وحقا اليوم نحن لدينا وقد تقبلنا وقد واجهنا هذه المشكلة العالمية، وأن هذه الأزمة هي أزمة إنسانية حقا. وهو من المهم أن نواجه هذه المشكلة. وكيف يمكننا أن نحل مشكلة الإنسانية حقا؟ فقط بأن نكون أناسا، بأن نصبح بشرا، بأن نعتني بطبيعتنا، بأن نعتني بكوكبنا، بأن نعتني ببعضنا البعض. لأنه من المهم لنا بأن نعتني ببعضنا البعض، لأنه حسنا كما تعلمون ما بدا ذلك أننا نحن في الواقع في قلب المشكلة. لذلك وبفضل هذه الأحداث المهمة وبفضل منصة المجتمع الإبداع والمجتمع المبدع نحن نواجه هذه الأزمة وهذه المشاكل. والآن أود أن أسأل المتحدث التالي. أرجوك أخبرنا عن انطباعاتك عن المؤتمر أزمة عالمية وقت الحقيقة. في البداية أود أن أشكركم جميعا على الدعوة. هل يمكنني أن أقول أنه حينما أراقب المؤتمر كان علينا توقف العديد من المرات لأنني شعرت بالإرهاق. وإذا بإمكاني فقط أن أقول بأنني أركز على الهجرة والتجارة بالبشر، بالإضافة إلى مشكلة كيف يتفاعل الناس. كما يعلم العديد يبحثون عن كيفية الدفاع عن أنفسهم. نحن قد أصبحنا الآن مدمنين على العنف. لقد الناس تظهر في وسائل الإعلام وسائل الإعلام تظهر المعاناة والعنف إلى درجة أن الإنسان اليوم أصبح وسيلة وأداة. والأمر الوحيد حول المؤتمر هو أنه أظهر الحقيقة، حقيقة معاناة الإنسانية، ليس أمرا سطحيا، ليس فيلما، إنه أمر حقيقي. البشر الذين خاضوا والذين عانوا الأمرين في حياتهم، وأود أن أجبر نفسي وأقول بأنه لمن الضروري بالنسبة لنا بأن نصبح أشخاصا ينتابنا وتسيطر علينا الشعور والأحاسيس مجددا. لقد تم إغلاقنا وقد صرنا أشبه بالأشياء لأننا نتائج ذلك كانت واضحة، وهي أننا بدأنا نفقد إنسانيتنا. أصبحنا مصدومين. أنا لا أتذكر الوقت الذي كان فيه شخص أسود ظاهر في التلفاز كنا نغلق التلفاز، وهذا مر لوقت طويل لنظهر بأننا اليوم لسنا قادرين على أن نشعر بألم الناس مجددا. لذلك أود أن أقول بأنني أذكر الآن قصة فتاة صغيرة قد تم بيعها 17 مرة في بلدان مختلفة، وهذا حقا قد كسر فؤادي لأنها لم تكن الوحيدة، فقد شاهدت عديدا من الناس آخرين، ولكن لا أحد يهتم، لأنه ويا للأسف العديد من الناس توقفوا عن الاكتراث، ولكن ليس لأننا أشخاص سيئون، بل لأننا فقدنا الأمل. أنتم تهتمون لدرجة أنكم لم نعد قادرين على الاهتمام، حتى أننا لم نعلم ماذا نفعل. الأمر فقط يشبه القيادة ثم تصبح شخصا بلا مأوى. لا ترى الناس بعد الآن، لقد انغلق عقلك عن رؤية آلام الآخرين، وهذا ما يجعلك تحمي قلبك بالسكوت عن الأمر. لذلك أظن أنه في هذا المؤتمر تم إعلامنا بالعديد، وقد مرت في قلوبنا العديد من المشاعر، لأنه لم نعد نعلم ماذا يجب علينا القيام به أمام هذا. لأنه لمن الضروري أنه إذا كنت تشعر بالغضب، إذا كنت تشعر باليأس، إذا كنت تشعر بالإحباط، فهو لمن الأهم بأن هذه الأحاسيس قادرين على الشعور بها مجددا حتى نخلق أمرا مختلفا وحتى نبدع من جديد. أنا أنتظر شوقا لأفريقيا. أنا أعمل في التلفاز، لذلك دائما لدينا أناس يسألون دائما عن كيف يستخدمون منصاتنا لإجراء دعم صوت المسموع. أنا حقا دائما أنظر على وجوه الناس، يوجد الكثير منهم. لقد أصبح الأمر مألوفا. كان علي التوقف. انظروا، أنه شخص حقيقي. كان يمكن أن يكون شقيقك أو شقيقتك، إنه شخص مثلك. لذلك أنا حقا مسرورة وممتنة لهذه المشروع ولهذه المنظمة، مشروع المجتمع الإبداعي. أنا لست شخصا وحيدا الذي شعرت بما شعرت به عندما كنت أشاهد ما أشاهده، وقد كنت أشاهد كيف هي الحياة الإنسان اليوم. لقد رأينا كيف أن حب المال قد آذانا كأناس، وهذا حقا لا أمر مؤسف. لأن الناس يحاولون بأن يعيشوا حياتهم. لذلك أنا أصدق بأنه لمن المهم بأن نفهم أين أخطأنا، ولكن هو أهم هو أن نفهم بأنه يجب علينا أن نجد حلا، وعلى الناس أن تشعر ببعضها البعض، لأنه الحل هو التالي: إذا فهم الناس بأنه إذا يتحصلون على أكثر عندما يعطون أفضل مما يأخذون، فحينئذ سيفهمون بأنهم سيصيرون أسعد. نحن نظن بأن الجميع يعلم، ولكنهم لا يعلمون. علينا أن نعلم بعضنا كيف نكون بشرا من جديد. أنا أظن أن هذا سيكون بداية الانتصار، أن يستيقظ الناس لشخصهم الحقيقي، لأنه بهكذا سنكون أنفسنا. شكرا جزيلا لك إليزا، شكرا جزيلا لك على مشاركتك. وأنا أيضا عندما كنت أشاهد المؤتمر في مرحلة ما لم أستطع التوقف عن البكاء، وقد شعرت بأن هذه حقا مقدمة للفؤاد، ولكن من جهة أخرى شعرت بأن الحرية الداخلية من الحقيقة أننا في هذه اللحظة نتحدث، نحن نتكلم عن هذه المشكلة، نحن نتحدث عن هذا الإدراك. الناس الآن يدركون أنه أمر مرعب هي الحقيقة. الحقيقة هي الآن، الحقيقة هي التي نعيشها، الحقيقة التي نحلم في تغييرها. في اللحظة التي نفهم فيها بأنه ليس رعب، بل هو حينئذ سنفهم بأننا يمكننا تغيير كل شيء. وكما قلت، تعليم الناس، إخبارهم، مساعدتهم يحولوا أنفسهم، ولنذكرهم بأنه في البداية نحن بشر، لدينا روح، لدينا الطيبة، لدينا هذا الشعور بمساعدة بعضنا البعض. قلوبنا آلاف المرات أفضل من شراء سيارة أو ملابس جديدة. لذلك شكرا جزيلا لك على مشاركتنا معك. والآن أود أن أقترح مشاهدة المؤتمر فيديو الذي يصور حقا إحدى المواضيع المهمة، الأزمة الإيكولوجية التي نواجهها اليوم كإنسانية، لأنه توجد بعض الناس في العالم الذين لم يدركوا سوء الوضعية. لذلك الآن أود أن أسأل ألا طاقمنا التقني أن يتحدثوا أكثر عن هذا وأن يظهروا الفيديو. الوضعية البيئية تظهر بأن كل شيء يؤثر في كل شيء، ولكننا مدركون لهذا. في المؤتمر الدولي في جويليا 24/2021 أزمة عالمية، هذا يؤثر في كل شيء، يصدم حالنا اليوم. خلال 4 أشهر منذ آخر المؤتمر، عديد المتطوعين في المجتمع الإبداعي من كل أنحاء العالم أصبحوا يجاهدون من أجل تخفيض تلوث الهواء. 90% من الناس يتنفسون هواء ملوثا. المعطيات الحديثة تظهر بأنه في مجتمعاتنا الحديثة نتنفس هواء ملوثا دائما بسبب الطاقات التي تلوث البيئة. خلال 4 أشهر العديد من الأحداث حصلت في العالم بأسره. هذه حرائق، عواصف، مزيد من الحرائق، انفجارات المصانع والانبعاثات الكيميائية. على سبيل المثال، في نوفمبر تم إغلاق المدارس في العاصمة الهندية دلها، وقد تم حقا اعتبار السؤال العزلة. لقد كان على الناس ارتداء الأقنعة حتى في المنازل. نسبة التلوث مرتفعة كما ترون، لا يمكن رؤية شيء من هنا. الأعين حقا غير قادرة على الرؤية ولا من صعوبة التنفس. خلال 4 أشهر تم ملاحظة ارتفاع أعداد الموتى من التلوث، وقد بلغ 2 مليون ميت. خسارة الغابات هي إحدى الكوارث والتي تمثل مصيبة حقيقية في وقتنا الراهن. يمكنكم أن تشاهدوا فقدان الغابات. هناك العديد من الغابات التي نفقدها في جنوب أمريكا. لقد ارتفعت نسبة الحرائق ب 46%. غابة الأمازون على سبيل المثال خسرت العديد من الأشجار. في منطقة جنوب آسيا في أستراليا خسارة الغابات ارتفعت بنسبة 130%. في أفريقيا ارتفعت بضعفين هذه الخسائر. غاباتنا تدمر ومشكلة المحيط تستمر ولا أحد يقوم بأي شيء. يتحدث العالم عن النهاية، ولكن الحقائق تظهر بأن التلوث يزيد والحرائق تزيد. التلوث يزيد. المعطيات عن نسبة الفضلات تظهر بأنه خلال 4 أشهر 730 مليون من الفضلات تم إلقاؤها في الغابات. 200 مليون طن خلال 4 أشهر تم رمي قرابة ربع فضلات البشر، وهذا ما يسبب دمارا حقيقيا. على سبيل المثال في أغسطس حدثت العديد من الفضلات والحرائق، وهذا ما أدى إلى تصاعد وارتفاع نسبة تلوث الهواء. قرابة 4.6 مليون من الناس، 4.6 مليون شخص تأذى من هذا. نحن الآن نقترب من أزمة إيكولوجية. النفط هو أحد المسببات الرئيسية للتلوث. النفط يحرمنا من الأكسجين. التربة لم تعد صالحة للزراعة بسبب النفط. أي حدث يرتبط بالنفط هو ملوث. انظروا إلى هذا. أرجوكم شاركوا هذا الفيديو. لدينا تسرب من النفط، تسرب هائل الآن. في أغسطس حدث تسرب نفطي. في سبتمبر اقترب محملة النفط من ساحل بايكريس. حجم النفط كان أكثر من 27,000 كيلومتر. هذا ما يعادل منطقة مدينتين. تلوث المياه اليوم حسب منظمة الصحة العالمية كل ثلث من العالم لا يمكنه الولوج إلى الماء الصالح للشرب. الأنشطة البشرية تسببت في نزول وانخفاض الماء النظيف. المصانع أيضا قد لوثت الأنهار في الهند على سبيل المثال. بالرغم من ما يحدث لا يزال الناس متسببين في التلوث. خلال هذه الأشهر الأربع قرابة العديد من الناس ماتوا بسبب تلوث المياه. من الفيديو نقول بأن مشكلة وأزمة المحيط يجب أن تكون على أجندة ومخططاتنا اليوم. كل ما نراه هو نتيجة خياراتنا، نتيجة عدم قيامنا بأي شيء. خلال هذه الأشهر الأربع كان يمكننا أن نخلق مجتمعنا الإبداعي. فرصتنا الآن لإنقاذ المحيط، لإنقاذ حياتنا. ولكن من خلال عدم قيامنا بأي شيء استمرينا في تحطيم كوكبنا. هذا يعني أن مستقبلنا ومستقبل أطفالنا لقد فقدنا 4 أشهر. دعونا لا نفقد فرصتنا الأخيرة.
И это факты, против которых но мы ничего не можем сделать. Это наша действительность. И сегодня мы все стоим на грани. По факту это грань. Важно еще отметить, что есть большая разница между климатом и экологией. Климатическая ситуация обостряется вследствие климатических циклов. То есть мы, как планета, зашли в эти циклы, то есть мы зашли в это излучение, которое двигается с галактики, да, и сейчас на планету идет огромное энергетическое воздействие. Проблема в том, что наша планета не готова к этому воздействию, потому что проблемы с экологией. И вот как раз-таки здесь мы, как люди, влияем на это напрямую. То есть мы уничтожаем иммунитет организма, иммунитет нашей планеты, который предназначен для того, чтобы нас же и защищать. То есть у нас вот эта дисгармония, непонимание всех этих вещей ведет к этому. Как раз-таки впереди всего идет жажда наживы и эгоизм. И вот в ролике был отмечен очень интересный факт, печальный, конечно же, факт, о ситуации в Индии с речкой, да, то есть загрязнение речки. И я сейчас хочу обратиться к Асте и поговорить по поводу такого явления. В нашем современном мире есть такая штука, назовем ее так, явление называется fast fashion, индустрия быстрой моды. И есть такой факт, что за последние 15 лет в среднем каждый житель планеты, то есть каждый из нас, начал приобретать на 60% одежды больше. Из-за того, что в нас стимулируется как раз-таки это желание. Я к вам хочу как к специалисту обратиться. Насколько это губительно для экологии, насколько это губительно для всех нас? Ну и также у меня там череда вопросов, да, что мы можем сделать, какие простые решения каждый из нас может сейчас предпринять. Вот в индустрии моды, к примеру.
Thank you very much for touching this. And me, being a fashion designer and 14 years in fashion as my own label, I still don't have my line. And many people asking me, why do you don't have your line? And that's the one and biggest reason. I don't want to make this, let's do it, sell it, buy it, not buy it, bin it. I want really what people think before they want to buy something. And like, if they want something, it's have to be really special. It's have to be very unique. And you want to keep it because this is so important. As now we're really buying one season, and actually season now takes only like couple months, as before we had 4 seasons. Now we have every minute sales, every minute wants somebody to, like designers wants to sell it sooner because new designs is coming in. It's like we're losing this line, autumn, winter, summer. It's like, let's buy it, it's cheap. But do we really think where it's come from? As we all very want to have nice, natural cotton clothing, what is the best for our skin. But actually, research showing what just to make and grow the cotton, what would make one t-shirt, it's needed fresh water, 28,000 for one t-shirt. And then, of course, like you said, seen it in the video, it's the coloring, it's the technical stuff and all stuff what goes into it. And after that, we buying it in the shop. I like it. Oh, it's not fashion anymore. And we bin it. And where did this end up? That's where is the biggest problem. It's not like to buy, okay, let's buy. But where it's end up, it's saying what actually 48 hours sold things, clothing, whatever it comes from material, our planet to digest takes 12 years. So every 48 hours, every minute, people buying and planet starting choking with this, how much we overusing, but sometimes we never use it. I see so many people what they buying just because it's sale, and then they bin it and drop it like or whatever, giving to charities. But actually it's proven what charities is not always the charities. it sometimes ends up in there where it's actually cheaper to get away. Bin it, burn it, or send it to the, poorer countries, but actually poorer countries who don't really want anymore this stuff, because the local suppliers, they losing value of their own material. So it's all this circle, what is just goes, I want to buy more because I think it's media, it's a little bit guilt in there, because no woman wants to show up with the same top or the same dress again, because it was already on the post. As that's what's happening. And I have many years working now with people, with girls, with women, with men. And the biggest point and my message is restyle it, reuse it, change it, swap it, share it, rent it. And sometimes you will save loads of money, loads of space in your wardrobe, and you will feel better. I feel better anyway when I know what I restyled my clothes. I update it and I reuse it again.
Спасибо, Аста, большое за ваш комментарий. На самом деле приятно, когда есть люди в индустрии, есть люди в этой профессии, которые смотрят целостно, масштабно и глобально на эту вещь и задумываются не о том, а как я сейчас заработаю или какая будет моя прибыль, а о том, насколько это будет влиять. И вот это вот сочетание, ведь каждый из нас может взять эту ответственность и начать задумываться над такими простыми вещами, как мое действие сейчас влияет глобально на ситуацию, потому что глобально эта ситуация также влияет и на меня, и на всех моих близких. И в дополнение тем фактам, о которых вы сказали выше, взять тот же хлопок. Одну пару джинс, чтобы сделать, нужно 15 тонн воды. Просто вдумайтесь, 15 тонн воды. При этом на нашей планете сегодня 2 миллиарда 200 миллионов человек не имеют доступа к безопасной питьевой воде. И следующий факт. 6 из 10 произведенных вещей выбрасываются, даже не дойдя до конечного потребителя. Посмотрите, что мы делаем. Мы берем ресурсы планеты, используем их для того, чтобы создать мусор, который сразу становится мусором. Он даже не доходит до человека. И вся эта система нами воспринимается как должное, как нормальная экономическая система развития и как нормальный потребительский строй. И, казалось бы, нет выхода из этой ситуации. Но когда мы...
in such a format of society. But when we know that the textile industry has the second place in influencing the ecology, when we realize how much resource goes into producing something, then when we ponder over these issues, then it already has a chance for the changes, right? Because probably you might ask yourself, do you really need to buy the things, or can we just go on destroying our planet, or can we bring any changes, any better changes to our planet? Because then of course, we have a chance to just fix anything if we get united. Yes, thank you very much again, Esther, for your experience and for sharing it with us. Please, thank you.
And if I'm not mistaken, Natalia wanted to share something as well to add to this topic. So, Natalia, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Да, спасибо большое. Я не знала.
Right. Thank you for giving me the floor. And I would like to share, such an observation that would just Asta also has shared her understanding that, of course, any woman, is kind of influenced just the idea that, okay, you need this or that thing. And today, women tend to consume more things that they need. Because, I have such a vivid example, for example, from the fashion industry, that, right, fashion is changing very, very rapidly. And all those, images that are imposed on us with the help of mass media, social media. Well, even if we just take this fact that okay, within a few months, fashion for another pair of shoes has been changed, and okay, you already don't want to wear the shoes because these kind of heels are not already fashionable, right? Or old-fashioned, and then you have this kind of feeling that well, you're a loser or something. Although these shoes, are excellent, they are made of natural material. Yeah, they probably have another form of heels, of the heels. So what? So what does it all lead us to? Does it lead to anything good? Because, right, we've got, to do something with really good things. Either we've got to give them away, or they we keep them stored in our wardrobes, right? Just because of fashion rules, new fashion rules. And I believe that each person should start getting more conscious and aware of what and how much you need, right? Or it's we all people stop, if we stopped listening to all these advertisements and stopped all this extra producing of things, then we would make our governments listen to people, and we would say to these fashion designers, we won't listen to you anymore. And probably we should address to each person and say, please, dear people, together we can do a lot. And we can, change this attitude of fashion industry on us. Right, friends, it's quite easy to do that. Just stop, just letting to be influenced by these fashion rules or something. And we people should start becoming friends to each other, right? Then, of course, it influences the state of the whole planet. And right now, I would like to give the floor to Vizar, our next speaker. Please, Vizar, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Dennis. I just also wanted to start by adding a little bit into the fashion comment. I think that we have to look at the world realistically. And when trying to get people to change their minds, and when trying to get people to change their behavior, we need to see who truly has that power and authority before you expect them to do it by themselves. So at this point, I always say, go to the source of where the information is coming from. And it's easier to get these people because they are smaller than the rest of the population that is following them. In this case, these people would be your fashion designer. And because they are the ones that are setting the trends, they're the ones that change the consumer mindset into wanting to buy more and wanting to consume more because of all of the trends that they keep on bringing forth. So I truly do believe if we were thinking from a mindset of wanting to bring change and solution, the first people whose minds need to be changed and taught are the fashion designers, because they are the ones that seem to have the power right now to bring on new trends. Human beings, unfortunately, are so impressionable, and human beings have almost become robots where they just follow trends and fads without even understanding why. They don't even use their reasoning anymore. People don't even think, oh, I don't need this. I have too much of this. No, they just see what is being fed out there. So I really do believe that if we had more fashion designers who are more conscious of the climate, who are more conscious of the planet, and more conscious of what this is doing to all of us, then they could literally change the trends. They could literally make using things for longer cool again. They could literally make reusing your clothes, exchanging your clothes, renting your clothes, all the things that was said already, something fashionable and something cool. Unfortunately, not everyone is trying to change the planet. That is the reality. Unfortunately, most of the human race is still quite selfish. So in order to get at them, I really feel like is in small doses. First of all, is the renewal of the mind. So if you just try to get them to change the way that they consume, because they will still consume. So it's just a matter of changing how these people consume, change the way that they see clothes, change the way that they see trends, change the lights, because there is always a very small group of people that dictate those rules. And then everybody else that is not conscious enough just follows through. So I always say that we need to get to those people, the ones that are setting the rules, the ones that are trying to really make, consumers buy more and waste more and all of those things. And if we truly are able to get to those heads and get them to start changing the communication, changing the language, then that will all start trickling down. Because people have no idea of what is truly going on. The information about how much water it takes just to make one cotton shirt, this is the first time that I'm hearing this. And I think about all this water that is wasted, and me being from Angola, there's so many provinces that have been in drought for years now. And these are provinces that had abundance of water. Now we have whole families that are dying because of thirst. So where something that before was abundant to them, it's no more. And no one is going to think that, wow, what I'm wearing contributed to a family dying of thirst. They don't see that connection. That connection is not made available to them. So it is that type of information that needs to get to those people, and hopefully they will start feeling some type of kindness and compassion, and that will be enough to change the mindset.
Thank you so much, Weza. Thank you so much for mentioning that, because indeed we need to, communicate this message to all of the people, and especially people who are, let's say, in power, who are in a position where they can truly dictate those new trends and, new ways of how they can either make money or contribute to our better world, to our better future, to saving people's lives, literally saving people's lives. And I also agree, totally agree with you on the fact that we need to educate people, and we need to bring this information to the masses. We need to bring this information to every human being on the planet Earth, because whenever we are not informed, whenever we are not educated, we simply don't realize what is going on, and we cannot make conscious choice. And we do have to be selective here. We do have to be selective in probably every sphere of our life, not just concerning the clothes, whether to buy this dress or not, or, whether to, let's say, use a bicycle to get to work or use a car or whatever. We have to truly be selective to what we're thinking about, what we're doing, and what we are choosing. Thank you so much one more time, dear guests, for sharing your opinions in this truly important topic. And right now we would like to move on to another, I can say, really heartbreaking topic that was also raised during the conference. And this is the topic of refugees. We already mentioned it a little bit at the beginning. And especially for this conference, a team of volunteers prepared a documentary film about the refugees, where people shared their life stories, shared their experience, people who happened to become refugees, and of course, this is not something that you do by your own choice. This is something that your life situation leads you to unexpectedly. So right now, I would like to suggest us also watching a short excerpt from the conference in this topic, and then we'll dive deeper to discussing this as well.
she was Turkish. She had been sold 17 times, and she had been trafficked from one country to another 17 times, and she had experienced only rape.
I also sat in many auctions as a customer, as an undercover when I was doing the undercover. There where we were sitting for the auctions, 9-year-old girl, 10-year-old girl, as per the demand. So the trade called the first time sex. Whenever the auctions will happen, new girls arrive in the trade, so they put the auctions. So who will bid the last demand, the money, that person only will use that victim full night for his choice.
The business that is made of spare parts, the human spare parts. How many children have been transferred from one place to another and then being operated on for some rich guys in different parts of the world to get a kidney or get something else from their bodies against their will?
Black market, traffickers, mafia is part of this economy that is ruling the world. So what else I can say? That I only see that the other possibility is to spend money instead of constructing walls like we are doing in Europe.
In our society, human life has no value. How is it possible that instead of help, people encounter violence, aggression, abuse, and slavery? This is not a migration crisis, but this is a crisis of humaneness.
People, by looking at the existing legal frame, will not ever be entitled asking for protection. Because you will ask them which country you're coming from, they will say there is no country. I had a country called X, but the country now is underwater. Or I had a village and this village is being totally destroyed or disappearing.
It turns out that there are still no effective programs for the resettlement of refugees. For so many years, the United Nations has been working. For so many years, the Refugee Rights Commission has been working. So many humanitarian organizations and NGOs around the world have been working, but there are no working, established or adopted programs on how to work with these refugees. There are none. And the Refugee Commission itself admits this.
Now refugees are forced to leave their homes. They face condemnation and cruelty. They are left alone with their misfortune because of the consumerist format of society. Tomorrow's climate catastrophes could be upon us as well. Answer yourself honestly. Are you ready to face what refugees face? Are you sure you won't be in their shoes? That you and your loved ones won't have to go through what they're going through?
Indeed. This every time I watch this excerpt, I watch this video, it really touches my heart. And I ask myself, how come we people let these things happen? How in our modern society, we call it civilized society, how come we still have such issues and we support them by our inaction? Vesa, could you please share with us, what do you think about it, and how important is it right now for each and every one of us to speak about these issues, to openly and honestly speak up, not be silent, and share this information, bring this global awareness to our society, and basically inform people of what is happening right now?
Thank you, Kate. It's always hard watching that insert again because it's only a small portion of what's truly going on worldwide. And we've always had like the man said, it's not a migration problem. It's not a refugee problem. It truly is a human rights problem, a humankind's problem. If I can just briefly say, I arrived here in South Africa from Angola as a refugee. Being from Angola, and I was a political refugee because my father was killed in Angola and my mother felt that we weren't safe anymore there. I was very blessed to be able to come into South Africa and had a community that could receive me. So thank God I didn't have to go through a lot of what these young women, men, children go through. But the reality is that they do go through that. I remember coming here as a little girl and I remember seeing so many people feeling lost and feeling hopeless. And once they got here, they all had that light in their eyes thinking that they went towards a better life, that they were going to be able to make a new life for themselves, only to find themselves, a lot of them, only to find themselves in an even worse situation than they were from where they ran off from. And then you find yourself stuck, really not knowing where to go because you just choose the lesser of two evils. And sometimes you don't even have the opportunity to choose the lesser of two evils. You deal with the situation that is in front of you. The truth is that when it comes to migrations and refugees, it is a business. And that is why there is no solution. As long as people benefit from human life, from human suffering, it will be very hard to be able to solve it. If we continue to think that the people that are in charge of solving it are the ones that are going to solve these problems. No, they aren't. It is us. It is us by being able to really spread this information and get everyone around the world to really see the situation as it is. Because just the way that refugees are portrayed as well helps people not really want to care about them. A lot of the times they are portrayed as being a nuisance, as being an inconvenience. And if that is how you show another human life, who is really going to want to help? Let's talk about South Africa. A lot of people from other African countries run to South Africa because it has a better structure. And South Africa, when I arrived here in '96, really was trying to be kind enough to be able to receive these refugees. But now it has become overwhelmed because there is no structure, there is no place for them to stay. And a lot of the times, what happens to a human being if they are hungry and they cannot get food in a normal way? Eventually, something in them, the survival instinct in them is going to kick in. And they're going to do whatever they can, any means necessary in order to feed themselves or for a mother to be able to feed a child. That would mean if I have to steal, to kill, to prostitute myself, to sell an organ, anything just not to die. But when these situations are showcased to the world, all we see are, oh, these are ruthless people. These are people that have no gratitude. These are people, they're seen as animals. Like I remember in the conference seeing that human beings right now, they're treated in many parts of the world worse than animals. And you know that because how many times have you read story of a millionaire or a billionaire dying and leaving all the inheritance to a cat or to their dogs, while there are people that are dying of hunger, that are being raped, that are being stripped of their dignity daily. And a person as a human being doesn't know that that money that you are leaving to an animal can be used to save so many people's lives. That is just an indication of how much of us is being lost. And we can say that over and over again, but the only way to really erase something in us, a real need for change, is to put the information out there. Because these people that are out there being treated like they are less than nothing, they truly believe that nobody in the world cares. A lot of them wake up every day just wishing that they won't have to see another day. A lot of them are wishing death upon themselves so that they don't have to carry on suffering. And this is not from hearing, this is me personally having seen this. I deal with girls that have been trafficked so many times that they have tried to commit suicide over and over and over again. And they still don't understand why they're alive. Why do they keep on surviving? And they don't even know how to receive love anymore. They don't even trust anyone anymore because so many horrible things have been done to them that they also lose their humanity. And that is how evil keeps on stripping and keeps on growing. Because if you make a person lose enough of their humanity, eventually that is what they will put out in the world. So hopefully, with this type of information, reaching out as many people as possible, reaching all across the globe, the world, people will truly stand up. And instead of waiting for United Nations, instead of waiting for committees to do something, they will take it upon themselves to make a conscious change. Next time they see a refugee, next time they see a refugee camp, instead of looking at them like just criminals or people that are lazy because why are they not working? You don't have papers to work. You don't even know where to start. They will take a little bit of what they have and go and share. So the idea is to really just try to get people to understand that you as an individual, you can do so much more than you imagine. We keep on thinking that we need, the higher powers, the powers that be, to be able to solve the situation. They won't as long as we are quiet, as long as we continue to ignore the issue. But if enough people are screaming at the top of their lungs, if enough people are saying enough is enough, we want to see change, and they also show. Because the minute you see somebody else doing, you also want to do it. It's the domino effect of kindness that is so necessary to happen again. But that can only happen with information, the kind of information that is being spread right now.
Спасибо. Спасибо большое, Луиза, за ваш искренний...
Thank you, Lisa, for your sincere answer and for sincere just sharing your experience as a person who, of course, has had to go through all that. And I agree with you totally that in today's format of society, in today's economic system, well, we're not able to solve this issue, no matter how hard we try. Of course, there are many kind people and people who do their best, not just in words, but in deeds, solve these issues. But still, the problem with the refugees is still worsening because we actually not solving it because we are not taking away the cause of all that situation, right? And many people with their indifferent attitude, and because of our inaction, well, we believe that, okay, this problem is somewhere out there, but not here, it's not happening to us. But actually the truth is that we are all part of the planet, and we should raise these topics and we should raise these questions and issues so that would really be at the top of the list. And what I really like, and just studying these issues, that it's not just kind of impossible to solve it. It is possible, but we just should just accept that we do have this problem, and we do need to change the format of the society. We should kind of get rid of the true cause of this illness, of all humanity, of all the planet, and we should make our world a better place to live in. Right now, I'm giving the floor to Natalia, and can you please comment this video with the refugees? What do you think? How important is it to raise such questions, and how can we solve it? Right, I agree that, of course, these facts are very hard to accept. And even if I watched this video for the second time already, but I realize, well, it's really very hard to accept this misfortune of people, because actually, it's hard to accept that just people like you and me, right? They do all that, chaos and misfortune to other people, kids slavery, just to sell kids for sexual slavery, people traffic. It's unbelievable. Just all this horror, and this horror is being made by other people, and when you just watch these facts and you realize that, oh my God, why is there such evil, and whom should we address these questions, or should we address to the heavens? Should we just give up or all this and just give the responsibility onto other shoulders, or should we do something about it? Because it is already in the constitutions, it is said the power lies with people, right? So where is our choice and decision? What should we do? Because of course the cause is in our inaction and in false information, presented in social media. And as you know, the official media also do not show the truth to the people, because they kind of say that, okay, why should we make trauma to people's psyche? Okay, let's not find out about these facts, right? Of course it's not true, and because we people should know the truth, because even if that there was a conflict situation on the borders or with Belarus and other countries, so what should people worry about? What do people worry about? They worry about kind of the trees that these poor people were cutting in order to get warm at night, because refugees felt cold during the night and it was unbearable. Of course they felt ill, and oh my God, so many problems. So what I'm driving at is that to what kind of degree of degradation has our humanity come to today, that so much serious information has been presented to us during this conference, and really that people, they kind of they have a kinder attitude towards their pets, but not to their fellows. Why so? Why is this happening? And when all this absurdity of the consumer format of society is just shown honestly, then we just do realize that we are in a deadlock, right? But we are not judging today, of course, the rights of the pets, but people who have become refugees, they are people, and they are condemned, and they are they're getting not real help from the governments. Nobody stands for them. None of the organizations just solve their issues seriously enough, and I'm so happy today. I'm still, happy that and grateful that there are people who are not afraid to take these issues and try to solve them, who are trying to do their best to save at least one person's life, one refugee's life, but they managed to address to the international public and say, dear friends, without your participation, without international public's participation, we are able to do very, very little. That is why we should get united. Of course, then we'll be able to solve these issues in another way, because we cannot solve these issues if we are divided, because we should get united. Then our whole humanity's potential is much, much stronger. And that is why, dear friends, what I found out during the conference Global Crisis Time for the Truth is that the fact that each person within these nearest years, each of us will have to face this climate crisis. And of course, you may not be sure that you won't be a refugee or a migrant or something, but it's really, or a victim of the cataclysms. But in this way or another, climate crisis will affect each of us. And as it's also been voiced about from the already official mass media, right, that our presidents know about the threats of the climate crisis. And of course, they're kind of trying to solve these issues, but to what extent? To what extent will we be silent? To what extent will we be inactive? To what extent will we just be silent and not discuss these issues? We should start discussing, because already all over the world in different countries there are many demonstrations against trying to stand or to start solving climate and ecology issues, different green organizations and something like that. But have they managed to change the public's attitude to that? So let's create the world unification, because we have a way out. We can save each child's life. And just, do you remember those footages from the conference when the participants of the conference said that they, undercover, they went to the refugees camps and they were collecting data information in what state the refugees were, and what they saw with their own eyes, that oh my God, they saw a poor girl with a note saying that she's ready to be sold for sex for the first time. And there are more facts about that children are taken away from their parents because parents are kind of obliged to sell their kids, their other kids, because they are not able to feed the rest of their kids. Okay, so and why is it happening? So that even some pets are living in luxurious conditions and they're fed better than people. Isn't it absurdity, dear friends? And today we do have this opportunity to get united and to unite all our efforts in order for each person hear these issues and hear these problems, because there are no children who are somebody else. These are our kids, because even anything like that could happen to our kids, and it may happen, unfortunately, in the nearest future. So would you like such a future for your kid? I don't think so. So that is why we should I do not address to you and ask you to go to participate in the demonstrations, but I do not address you and ask you to take weapons and go and demand something, but I am asking you to just realize this information and to get united, because we do have a chance to change our world for the better place to live in, because we should first analyze the information, accept it, and find the way out, because today, unfortunately, each day without if we are not living in the creative society, it takes away lives. It takes away lives of children, of people, the refugees. That is why, dear friends, let us take action, dear friends. Thank you. Thank you, Natalia, for your sincere answer. And how is it really possible that in a human society there are kind of two epidemics? There is kind of hunger crisis. On the other hand, is obesity crisis. How is it possible that children are sold in this way for sexual abuse or something? Because it was somebody's daughter, right? I have a daughter myself, and I do understand that. Do you realize that what's happening so it's kind of happening to me, because we are all one big family. So people, let's not let such situations happen. And right, please comment these situations with refugees.
Because it reminds me my own journey. 20 years ago, I left my own country because of my personal life. But at the same time, I knew what in my country I'm not will be able to bring my own child on my own, as I left being single mom. So I have to move. And the first country where it come, I said, no matter which country it will be, I'm going, just to really change my life. And I so understand every mom and every dad what they're feeling when you can't really give food for your child, or you have to leave them for some long time. I left for 1 year my child till I get ready in Ireland to give him proper life, normal life. I'm not talking about fancy life. But what I find years and years, and now I am 20 years in this country, I am still a migrant. I'm not a full person, normal person. Not, of course, I never will be Irish, and I don't want that. But for other people's eyes, because I am migrant, I have to be cheaper. Because I am migrant, everybody looks at me like, be happy what you have. You know, and only when I started working and making my own business, and that was the biggest, my feeling, nobody will respect me. I will not get back my dignity till I not become my own boss. And actually, took me years and years till I got my awards, till I got my big achievements, till I started being invited to, you know, big things. People started looking at me a little bit. Okay, what is she doing? Oh, is she a specialist? As before, I was still cheap migrant. Took me years. And now I actually working with many, many migrants from all over the world, wherever they are in Ireland and actually outside Ireland, thanks for internet. I'm helping them to get back that dignity, because I believe in, don't just give fish for the person, but teach them how to fishing, how to get that yourself. And not just really to teach them to give me, but actually to go back and live into society what they are. And that's exactly what was huge, like from all other people. Country is amazing. They give money straight away. You can help, I can help you. You know, it's all good. But dignity in here and other people's eyes, I'm paying for your food because I am give you this money, you know. And actually you can feel only the kids in school with being with my child, they actually was more nicer than adults. Because children, they are so innocent. They love you anyway, as long as no pressure in the family. As long as they're not hearing the news and parents commenting, yeah, that's good for them. Oh no, I don't like them. Oh, they this. And that's what kids hearing. So I really now asking for everybody. We're talking a lot about we adults, we buying stuff, we adults. But actually our generation is our kids. So if we show for our kids, like my child grow up now, he have many friends who is any colors and he have no difference. He loved them all. He playing football with them, everything. As I know, adults would not do the same. So I really asking for all parents, whatever news you're watching, whatever we talking, wherever we going shopping, as I noticed again, I'm go back to the last point, we going having fun on weekends, and what we do, we bringing kids shopping. And we giving that mind the most amazing fine and nice time when we shop. And we're not treating them as let's make amazing time, maybe nature, maybe camping, maybe something. And let's love everybody and send everybody love from childhood, because only kids will grow and teach others to be better. Because we're talking about us now as adults, but we have a lot of conditions from everything around us. And we starting don't like one each other or hate one each other as we know what's going on. As kids, innocent. So make sure we're not commenting terrible things on news when kids hearing. And let's make sure, message to our kids, love one each other and love our planet, because who knows, if we not give that, who knows, do they ever give for our grandkids? And that would be my message. Whatever we do, make sure our kids is our generation hearing about it. Show all these videos for our kids. They need to know.
Thank you so much, Asta. And you slowly moved on to the next question, to the next topic that we wanted to discuss. And today we had a really profound, really interesting conversation. We touched upon the topic of ecology. We touched upon the crisis of humanity that we have right now, experience right now. And there are so many crises right now in the world, political, economical, and so on. We can, just go on with this list forever. And for some people, it might seem that we are in a hopeless position. Like we can either sit down, put our hands together and either cry or panic. So the question to actually all of you, dear speakers, would be, what do you think each and every person can do right now to move from this consumerist mindset to a creative one, to try to become closer every day, step by step, to the creative society? So what can each and every person do? We maybe can start with Asta, because you already started by saying that we need to give a great example to our kids, to our younger generation. But what do you think, what else maybe every one of us can do at home, at work, with the strangers on the streets, just, turn on your imagination and just try to share whatever you think on this topic.
Exactly. We all can do something. We all, but like I was just in the beginning said, the man in the mirror, that's the biggest, and friend and enemy and supporter and everything. So really, first, ask yourself, am I doing what I would love what others would do? So if I send love for everybody, am I really doing about this something? Like recycling, looking after nature, just brushing your teeth in the glass of water. You don't need to let it go and use it and ruin it. Like, it's really simple things what we could do. But mostly people don't, like they just ignore it. It's not my problem. But it's actually, it's coming nearer and closer, and it's coming nearer our problem. So I think the biggest and most important thing is really ask yourself, but really honestly, what am I doing today to do something better? Because only person from our heart, we really know what we're doing wrong. We really know. Do we really eating something, or do we overeating, overbuying, and then binning, clothes, food, everything, energy. I am the one who goes around in the house and switch off lights. I'm the one who's always worried about how much water we use. And I am in Ireland, but actually, in Ireland, it is shortage of water as well, in the summers as well, especially. So we're not only talking about some countries, we should be all thinking about, am I doing something? Just around me, just recycling and really sending love to one each other, no matter what color, that's what really shocked me when I was thinking and I'm watching this, and I was like, how did I get on so kind of easy in the society when I was a migrant? And you know, I think the biggest thing was my skin color. And I really, really feel that. And I think, what about if we just close our eyes and don't look who's in front of us, but really just talking about the conditions, about knowing where they're coming from, about knowing nothing, but really talking heart to heart, or not open eyes and judging by the view. If we would close our eyes, we would more connect with our hearts. So that's all my message, and I really send everybody love. Thank you.
Да, спасибо большое, Аста. Это действительно очень
Right. Lots of thanks, Esther. It is really very important to ask yourself a question, because everything depends on each of us, right? Let us participate in building a beautiful world, in building a creative society. Then, of course, we will build it. If we choose to go on with the consumerist format of society, then, of course, the consumerist format of society will be. And that is why responsibility lies with us. And at the same time, we have the choice in what world we would like to live in. And right now, I would like to ask Visa, please answer the question. What can each of us do today so that we, would be able to build a creative society as fast as possible?
I first of all agree with everything that Esther has said. It really has to start with us on the smaller things. And I'm one that believes in leading by example. And if you do these things yourself, just starting with the immediate people around you, instead of talking about it, do it. Because a lot of us spend a lot of time telling people what to do, but do our lives reflect what we are telling others? So small things, exactly like Esther said, you're recycling, you're using less water, use your clothes more often, repeat your clothes more often, and then at least the people around you will start to see a difference. Today I am here because I posted a video on social media, so I know about the power of social media today. Today we are able to speak to each other in different parts of the world because of technology. So use that at hand. I mean, we all have our own platforms. We are here, people that are in social media. We are in the creative arts, either as a designer or as a singer. So obviously we have people that are following us. We have some sort of influence in a small or large group of people. What are we feeding those people? Because we already know that these people look up to us for one reason or another. So why don't we just use the things that we are learning here, the things that we are learning about creative society and the greater good, and find creative ways of not only us doing it, but showing it to them as well. Because that is how you also create trends. If they see you doing it, they will also copy and hopefully do it as well. And I think that the biggest thing is just how we interrelate with each other. There is this quote that says that people may not remember what you have done, they may not remember what you say, but they will always remember how you make them feel. People will always remember how you make them feel. So if we treat others with respect, if we treat others with kindness, if we treat others with admiration, how we make them feel will permanently stay in their hearts, and that in turn can turn them into better people. I think that all of us have an example of a teacher when we were in school that either believed in us and inspired us, or that one teacher that used to say, you are never going to achieve anything. Either one of those teachers shaped you in one way or another. Either you wanted to prove to the other teacher that, yes, I can be someone, or you wanted to make the teacher that said, I believe in you proud. So I'm using this example because we have that power to instill the same type of feeling onto other people. But what is it that we are feeding them? If we are constantly feeding people positivity and saying, we can do this, we can be this change, we can create this change, let me show you how. It is actually not that hard, because we think that it's so hard to change the world. The only way of changing the world is by us changing ourselves. And it interlinks between one human being to another human being to another human being. So let us just be the change that we want to see. I know that people have said this so many times that we think it has lost its meaning, but if we really just go to the core of that, what change do you want to see? Be it. And then it will reflect off on somebody else, and then they will reflect off on somebody else. And that is the domino effect of kindness and change that we are trying to bring in the world.
Thank you so much, Weza. Thank you, Asta, as well. Thank you for sharing that. And indeed, you know, being the best example of what you want other people to see in you and to follow as well. And, you know, big gratitude to you for sharing that. And also, I would like to ask the same question to Natalia. And maybe, Natalia, you could also share with us, why do you personally think that creative society is the only way out, since you are an active participant of this project? So could you please share what can each and every person do right now in order to, you know, start living in the creative society? And why do you think it is so important and vital for all of us as the humanity?
Да, я с радостью поделюсь.
Right, I will gladly share my understanding with you, because our guests today have voiced that it's very important to begin with ourselves, right? It is very important how you treat the resources, how you deal with these resources, right, in your daily life. And when you start pondering over that, then, of course, yeah, you can say, I do okay, treat it all carefully. But the situation in the world is really changing just drastically. And until all the people start doing and start treating the resources the same way, then the situation actually is not going to just be better. And when I found out about the Creative Society project, then I realized that it is a way out. It is true way, because until each of us again starts just treating the resources in an economical way, until each of us starts taking the responsibility onto himself or herself and not onto organizations or companies, governments, presidents, and until each of us starts acting but not being silent and inactive, that okay, it's other people's issues, not mine. But when we ourselves start behaving actively, and when we start just begin being conscious and begin being aware of what's happening, and when we share this information with the people who have no access to the social media or mass media, all right, then we should just inform these people, all right, with the help of this instrument as internet, for example. We can spread this information all over the world, and united we can do a lot, because really you can change the way people are used to, for example, living or existing, because it depends what information people delve into, right? If they watch kind of dirty videos about disrespectful treatment and anything, then of course we are kind of sponged by that information. So who makes all those ratings and popular rates and so on? So just people, we do. That is why we have a choice. We can turn such shows, scandalous shows, off, and we can choose creative videos, right? Positive videos, educating ones. And the same happens in any sector, right? With government or with presidents and so on. If we get united and start spreading and showing positive example to other people, when we show people this real model of living the creative society, so of course, who among us doesn't want to live in such a happy and just society, the creative society? And right now, I believe that we are at the stage of informing people, and I believe one of our most important tasks is to inform each and everyone about the creative society, and that we should start with ourselves, with being aware of what's happening in the world, and not just start judging or just following what our neighbors are doing, but start acting positively just ourselves, right? Because always also just kind of track my thoughts that before that I kind of let the water out of the tap flow, without any control, because I like this noise of water running. But now I realize what stands behind that, and that is why I just control it, all right? Because you just, as one of the speakers has mentioned, okay, it's enough just a glass of water and just for brushing your teeth, right? But and in this way we can treat any resource economically and share this positive example to the others, family members, to your colleagues, friends, and so on, because everything starts with ourselves. Again, another example of Konstantin Eduardovich Tsiolkovsky, a Russian scientist, who said that actually the power lies with those people who get united, because the future is with the people and humanity who appreciate this power of unification, because if two people just get united, the power is multiplied even sevenfold, right? And if the greater the group is, and the greater the power and potential for the changes is, and those people who kind of indifferent to all these issues, I would say that many people are kind of afraid of what's happening today to the planet and to the society, and that is why it is important to to inform all those people who are not indifferent, who care about our future. And that is why I believe that this work for the unification of people is very important, and that is why to inform each and everyone is one of the most important tasks right now. Thank you, Natalia. Indeed, the most important processes, they start in the information field, and all the changes actually start from the information taken. So that is why, people, we have a choice whether to conduct negative information, whether to conduct the positive information. And that is why when each who is listening to us right now, and each who sees all these problems and realizes that we've got so many issues to solve, but a person does not lose a hope for the better world, of course, it's great. There are more and more people, more positive people and more responsible people who understand how to act, and we have a plan, a working plan. It is really very efficient and it's quite simple for each person. But what should we do at this stage? If you still do not know about the Creative Society project, please study this information. You don't need to have lots of time for that, but just a couple of minutes, all right? But realize that a lot depends on you, and please become a human who will spread this information further on. And with each spreading of this information, with each step, this idea will cover the more information field, and then we'll come to the point when all the people will know about the Creative Society, all the people people will start acting and will take, will give contribution to building of the creative society. And that is why the next event, great event, which is directed to the unification of people, is going to be held on the 7th of May this year, and it is called We Are People Global Crisis, where people we want to live. And with such an appeal to all the people that we need to act, okay? And if you have become an eyewitness to the, climate anomaly or any hard situation, okay, let us know, okay? Share your information and we'll spread this information further on so that all the society will know about that, all right?
Yes, and thank you so much. Thank you to our wonderful speakers for this lovely conversation that we had today. I'm sure that our viewers, our audience, and all people who will be watching this in replay, they will truly love it, because with such a sincerity, with such an open heart, and with so much kindness that you have put into your words today when discussing such serious topics, this cannot just leave your heart untouched. So thank you so much one more time for devoting your time to this international discussion, for sharing your opinions, sharing your experience, and for speaking up, because right now, indeed, it is the most important thing that we can do together as society, speaking up, not being afraid, not being silent, but telling the truth to the whole world, to make people realize, to make people understand what is going on, and to also, of course, give the way out, which is building the creative society, building the world where the human life will be of the highest value. And I would like to address to our dear audience, if you liked this international discussion, if you feel like these topics, they resonate with you, and you feel like sharing it, please don't hesitate to do so. Write your comments under the videos, share it on your social media, because as our lovely speakers mentioned today, that it truly works. And social media, this is the technology that right now gives us a chance to connect with the whole world and share the message. And also, if you have questions, if you feel like you don't understand something, or if you feel like you would like to also participate in such an international discussion, please write us an email to info@creativesociety.com, and we will gladly answer your questions and as well include your questions to the next international discussions and conversations like that. So one more time, I would like to pay my gratitude to our speakers, to the audience, and of course to our technical support and interpreters for making this international discussion happen. And we'll see you soon at the next international discussion on the Creative Society channel.
Thank you so much for speaking.